On Lot 5, located on the western side of the island. Really like to see if you wouldn't mind doing a check, too. Rick responds, in fact, Gary, if you'd wander everywhere, just in case, right? Gary agrees, yep. Yep. The narrator explains, over the past 2 years, this stone structure has yielded numerous clues that suggest it may be directly connected to the Oak Island mystery. As the beeping of a metal detector grows loud, tools that have been scientifically linked to Sir William Phipps, the 17th-century English politician who some believe conspired with a high-ranking Freemason named Andrew Belcher to bury a vast cache of Spanish silver and gold on Oak Island back in 1687. Fiona says, "We're coming over, Moya, to do a scan of your pit." Moya responds, "Okay." The narrator adds, "Now, since the feature has been deemed a special place by the government of Nova Scotia, Gary is allowed to detect potential metal targets. However, the archaeological team must then slowly and methodically work to uncover them." Rick remarks, "The Lot 5 feature, though it has expanded 2 to 3 times its original appearance, it's still not completely exposed, and to do it properly, you have to have a lot of patience. And that's fine, that's the process." Gary detects something and says, "Yep, I'm getting iron. I'll get out of the way." Then, bigger piece of iron there. Iron. There's iron all over in this one. Iron. Cor blimey. Fiona jokes, "You guys are going to be busy." The beeping grows louder, and Rick laughs, "Make that sound. It's gonna be copper, lead, or gold. You've got some great things waiting for you there." I haven't. Wow. The narrator reflects, an ornate, copper button? Could it be another important clue that might help determine who created this feature, as well as the brick structure in the swamp, and perhaps even the money pit? Laird concurs, "That's what I was noticing as well, yeah." Gary comments, "It's just really worn, isn't it?" Jack marvels, "It's super wonders, I think there's something about this button that might tell us if it's William Phipps." The narrator questions, could Jack be correct that this button might prove to be another clue that supports this theory? Just like the iron tools found in the round feature that have been scientifically linked this one up. Everyone laughs, and Laird says, "So, having said that, we need to go find more." Gary agrees, "Great work." Rick adds, "Thank you." Craig says, "Thank you." Jack concludes, "Thanks, Emma." "Thanks, Laird."